Chosen one, this message found you because everything is about to change, and not slowly, suddenly, decisively, and with divine precision. Tomorrow is not just another day on the calendar, it is a marked moment in the spirit, a convergence of timing that heaven has been preparing long before you realized what was unfolding. This is not coincidence, and it is not emotional suggestion. This is alignment. You may have felt an unusual heaviness mixed with anticipation, a quiet urgency you couldn't explain, as if something was approaching whether you were ready or not. That sensation is confirmation. Heaven does not operate on human delay, and what has been held back is now being released because resistance no longer has authority. And hear this clearly, the shift activating now is not centered on you alone. It is focused on your daughter. Her life, her timing, her awakening is the epicenter of what is moving. You were never meant to understand this all at once, only to recognize it when the moment arrived. Tomorrow marks the opening of something irreversible, something that cannot be undone once it begins. That is why you are drawn here now. That is why your spirit feels alert. Stay until the end of this message, because clarity is replacing confusion, and peace is about to overtake the worry you've been carrying. If this resonates, type 99 in the comments as an act of agreement, not for validation, but as a declaration that you recognize divine timing when it speaks. What you honor in awareness, you unlock in reality. Everything changes tomorrow, and it begins with her. Your daughter was never an accident, never an afterthought, never a random outcome of circumstance. Her arrival was intentional, strategic, and divinely assigned. Heaven chose her spirit first, then chose you as the vessel through which she would enter this world. That alone should tell you something about the weight of what you carry. Lineage is not just blood, it is spiritual inheritance. The strength you developed through hardship, the wisdom you gained through loss, the prayers you whispered when no one was watching, all of it became part of the foundation she stands on now. This is why she has always felt different. More sensitive, more perceptive, more affected by energy, words, and environments than others. What people labeled as too emotional or too intense was actually discernment operating without explanation. She carries a heaven-wired frequency that does not tolerate surface-level living. She feels deeply because she was designed to see deeply. She questions because she was never meant to accept false narratives about herself or the world. Many misunderstood her, not because she was lost, but because she could not be easily categorized. That uniqueness was not a flaw, it was a signal. You were entrusted with a soul that carries echoes of prayers you prayed long before she had a name. Through you, heaven planted a seed that was always meant to awaken at a precise moment. And that moment is approaching now. Tomorrow matters not because of a visible event, but because of an internal alignment completing its cycle. Something inside your daughter has been recalibrating quietly, piece by piece, layer by layer. For a long time, she has carried fragments of herself that felt disconnected, intuition without language, emotion without clarity, purpose without confirmation. But now, downloads are integrating. Identity is locking in. The fog is lifting. This is not about something happening to her. It is about something awakening within her. Becoming always happens in the spirit before it manifests in the natural. Tomorrow marks the moment when confusion gives way to self-recognition. When she stops interpreting herself through the expectations of others and begins to move from internal authority. And here is what many miss. Her activation is directly tied to your own shift. As she aligns, something releases in you. The anxiety you've carried begins to loosen. The questions that haunted you begin to quiet. This is not coincidence, it is connection. Destiny often moves in families, not individuals. Tomorrow is not a deadline, it is a doorway. And once identity crosses that threshold, there is no return to who she used to be. You have carried more than anyone knows. The silent prayers, the private tears, the moments you questioned yourself in the dark, none of it was wasted. Heaven records what humans forget. Every sacrifice you made, every time you chose patience instead of panic, faith instead of fear, it all formed a bridge between promise and fulfillment. You were never just raising a child. You were stewarding an assignment. There were moments of heartbreak when you felt powerless, moments when distance or misunderstanding made you wonder if you were losing connection. But even then, intercession was happening through love. Timing matters in destiny, and both you and your daughter had to reach readiness together. She needed strength. You needed release. And now the alignment is complete. Your role is shifting from protector to witness, from carrier to confirmer. You are still essential, but differently. The bridge has been built. She is ready to cross it. What is opening now is not available to everyone. It is a destiny invitation, divinely appointed, time-sensitive, and generationally significant. It may not arrive wrapped in spectacle. It may come quietly, disguised as opportunity, conversation, or inner clarity. Do not underestimate subtlety. Heaven often moves through peace, not pressure. This door is not just about her future, it is about legacy. Her yes will echo forward into generations you may never meet. Your obedience made room for this moment, and now trust is required beyond what you can see. Faith will be tested, not because something is wrong, but because something is expanding. This door affects your entire lineage, breaking patterns that have repeated for decades. When you step forward without fear, you are not just supporting her. You are closing cycles that no longer have permission to continue. As this shift unfolds, you will not need to guess whether something is changing, you will recognize it. The evidence will be subtle at first, but unmistakable. You will notice a difference in how your daughter speaks, not louder, but clearer. Her words will carry intention instead of hesitation. Where she once second-guessed herself, she will now pause with confidence, as if listening inward before responding. Her presence will feel more grounded, more settled, as though something finally clicked into place. This is not rebellion, it is revelation. Boldness will rise, not as defiance, but as self-recognition. She will begin to trust her own perception, no longer shrinking to make others comfortable. You may see old fears fall away, not through force, but through understanding. A veil is lifting, the veil that once caused her to question who she was and where she belonged. With that veil removed, remembrance takes its place. She remembers who she is, why she is here, and what she carries. Healing will accelerate in ways that surprise you. Emotional stability will deepen. The intensity that once overwhelmed her will now sharpen into discernment. Dreams may become more vivid. Creativity may flow more freely. Authority will settle naturally into her voice, not learned, not forced, but embodied. You may even notice a physical shift, posture, eye contact, stillness. These are signs of integration. Pay attention. Do not rush to interpret or control the process. Witness it. Honor it. What you are seeing is alignment taking form. It is important that you understand this clearly, so you can release the weight you have been carrying. The battles you faced recently were not random, and they were not a reflection of failure. They were targeted. The exhaustion, the confusion, the emotional pressure, the sense of being stretched beyond your capacity, it was all resistance against lineage activation. The enemy does not attack what is insignificant. Pressure increases when proximity to breakthrough is near. Much of what you endured was not even about your own life. It was an attempt to disrupt what was forming through your bloodline, to weaken the bridge before the crossing could occur. That is why it felt relentless. That is why rest did not always restore you, but endurance secured the victory. Faithfulness preserved alignment. You did not quit, even when you were tired. You did not abandon hope, even when clarity was absent. And because of that, the strategy failed. What was meant to delay destiny only refined discernment. Now comes vindication. Not loud revenge, but visible restoration. Peace replacing chaos. Order replacing pressure. Strength returning where depletion once lived. You will see proof. Not in theory, but in reality, that what tried to stop you had no authority to finish the assignment. If you find yourself unusually emotional in this season, do not resist it. Tears are not weakness, they are recognition. Sensitivity increases when something sacred is near. Your spirit is responding to release after long restraint. For a long time, you carried strength because you had to. Now, you're allowed to soften without losing authority. Vulnerability here is not collapse, it is transition. You still hold influence in your daughter's life, even if you are not physically close, even if words are not exchanged daily. Authority does not depend on proximity, it depends on alignment. This is a moment to speak life deliberately. Speak blessings when fear tries to rise. Speak identity when doubt whispers. Declare protection, clarity, and courage over her, even if she never hears the words directly. What is spoken in faith travels farther than distance allows. The weight you felt was not punishment, it was the final pressure before release. And now, the release has begun. It is time to see your daughter clearly, not through the lens of what she has been through, but through the truth of who she is becoming. The marks on her life were never meant to define her as broken. They were meant to mark her as resilient. Every scar tells a story of survival, discernment, and strength gained in places where others would have quit. What tried to silence her only refined her voice. What tried to shrink her only clarified her boundaries. She is not behind. She is not confused. She was information. Her story carries healing for others because she has lived what many are afraid to name. She has the rare ability to translate pain into understanding, confusion into clarity, and isolation into connection. This is why people will be drawn to her without knowing why. She carries a calm authority that does not demand attention but commands respect. Her presence will make others feel seen, even when she speaks little. And understand this, her femininity is not a limitation, it is a channel of restoration. She carries generational healing in how she loves, leads, nurtures, and speaks truth without violence. Where the women before her endured silently, she will articulate. Where they survived, she will restore. Where they carried burdens alone, she will teach others how to release them. This is not coincidence, it is correction. Identity is being restored now, not invented. She is remembering who she has always been beneath layers of expectation and survival. And as she does, she will stop apologizing for her depth. She will stop minimizing her insight. She will stop asking permission to exist fully. This is who she truly is. What is activating now is not sudden power, but long-dormant potential coming online. Your daughter carries gifts that span emotional intelligence, spiritual discernment, intellectual depth, and creative expression. These gifts will not announce themselves dramatically. They will surface naturally through conversations, curiosity, dreams, and encounters that feel random but are anything but. She may begin asking different questions, expressing herself in new ways, or feeling drawn toward paths that once felt distant or intimidating. Support this, even if it looks unfamiliar to you. Destiny rarely follows the route we would have chosen. It follows the one that forms authority. She may experience moments of resistance, both internally and externally. Do not fear this. Resistance is confirmation that elevation is occurring. When gifts awaken, they disrupt old comfort zones. You may notice her becoming more selective with relationships, more protective of her energy, more intentional with her time. This is not withdrawal, it is stewardship. She is learning how to carry what she has been given without leaking it. Dreams may become symbolic. Encounters may feel meaningful beyond logic. Pay attention, but do not interrogate the process. Trust it. Your role is not to direct her gifts, but to create space for them to breathe. Affirm her intuition. Validate her curiosity. Remind her that she does not need to explain her becoming to anyone who is not walking with her. What is awakening now was placed in her long ago. The timing is intentional. The unfolding is protected. And the path, though unfamiliar, is covered. What is unfolding now did not begin with your daughter, but it is ending with her. This is the nature of a generational shift. It carries history, but it does not repeat it. Strength that once manifested as survival is being refined into wisdom. Resilience that once came from necessity is becoming intentional leadership. Your lineage has known endurance, sacrifice, and perseverance, but it has also known limitation, silence, and unspoken burdens. Those patterns are breaking permanently. Not paused, not delayed, broken. The obedience you walked in when it was uncomfortable, the boundaries you set when it felt lonely, the faith you practiced when there was no immediate reward, all of it created momentum that is now carrying your daughter forward. This is not favoritism. It is fulfillment. She is rising with access others in the family never had, not because she is more deserving, but because someone before her paid the price. And that someone was you. What once took generations to change is being resolved in a single lifetime. You may notice that old cycles no longer have power. Reactions that once triggered you now fall flat. Fears that once controlled decisions no longer dominate. That is evidence of legacy in motion. Your life and her life are being upgraded together, synchronized in a way that allows healing to flow forward and backward at the same time. This is what restoration looks like when it reaches the root. As this shift continues, your relationship with your daughter will evolve, not because love is decreasing, but because capacity is expanding. There may be moments that feel bittersweet, where release feels like loss, even though it is not. Growth often creates distance. But distance does not mean disconnection. It means expansion. The dynamic between you is transitioning from protection to partnership, from guidance to mutual recognition. Your role is no longer to control outcomes, but to reflect truth. To mirror her strength without competing with it. To remain available without being intrusive. This requires trust. Trust in her discernment. Trust in the timing. Trust in the work that has already been done. You are not losing influence. You are gaining a deeper, quieter form of it. A spiritual partnership does not rely on constant instruction. It flows through respect, listening, and alignment. There will be moments when silence speaks louder than advice, and presence matters more than solutions. Allow the relationship to breathe. Allow it to mature. You are not being replaced. You are being repositioned. And as you stay open, flexible, and grounded in faith, the connection between you will strengthen in ways that feel more authentic, more peaceful, and more sustainable than ever before. Your daughter's life was never meant to be small, private, or contained within the borders of personal comfort. There is a greater mission resting on her existence, and it has been quietly forming long before she understood what she carried. This is not about fame, performance, or validation. It is about assignment. She carries a spiritual mantle that positions her as a point of reference for those who feel unseen, misunderstood, or displaced. People will recognize safety in her presence before they recognize authority in her words. She will become a lighthouse, not because she tries to shine, but because her clarity cuts through confusion naturally. Those who are lost, emotionally exhausted, or spiritually disoriented will be drawn to her because she speaks from lived truth, not theory. Her voice will carry weight, not volume, but gravity. When she speaks, things will settle. When she listens, people will feel understood. This authority does not come from dominance. It comes from alignment. She will not need to convince others of who she is. Her consistency will do that for her. There will be moments when the scope of her influence surprises even you, when doors open that seem disproportionate to her effort. Do not be alarmed by this. Favor follows assignment. The impact of her life will extend beyond what you can measure, touching people she may never meet directly, shaping environments she may never fully see. This is not pressure, it is purpose. And purpose does not demand perfection. It requires presence. She is not being called to perform holiness, wisdom, or strength. She is being called to embody it. The mantle she carries will mature with time, grounded in humility, compassion, and discernment. And through it all, know this. Fulfillment is already built into her path. She will not lose herself trying to save others. She will not burn out trying to prove anything. The mission is balanced, protected, and sustained by divine design. Her life will impact many, not because she seeks significance, but because she is aligned with it. Now is the moment to release what has quietly weighed on your heart for years. Regret, self-blame, and the questions you replayed in your mind. What if I had done more? What if I had known sooner? These are not meant to travel with you into what comes next. Nothing was wasted. Not the delays. Not the detours. Not even the seasons that felt like failure. Every experience carried instruction, and every wound carried insight. What you call mistakes, heaven calls preparation. There were lessons you could only learn through pain, discernment you could only develop through disappointment, and compassion you could only access through endurance. And all of it became seed, not loss. This is the season where forgiveness turns inward, where you stop holding yourself accountable for outcomes that were never fully in your control. Love never stopped working, even when you felt distant, tired, or unsure. Love was active in silence. Love was effective even when words failed. The timing of healing matters, and some things could not be restored earlier without breaking what was still forming. But now, restoration does not require revisiting every wound. It requires releasing them. The past no longer has authority to define the present. What once hurt you has completed its assignment. It taught you. It shaped you. And now it must stay behind. There is no debt left to pay. No apology left to earn. The harvest arriving now is not conditional. It is deserved. Peace is replacing tension. Understanding is replacing confusion. And grace is washing over places where shame once lingered. This is not denial of the past, it is integration of it. You are carrying the wisdom without the weight. And as you heal, so does your daughter. Healing moves generationally when one person chooses to stop reliving what no longer has permission to exist. Nothing was wasted. Everything mattered. And now you are free to move forward without looking back, This is the season where relief finally reaches your nervous system. Not imagined peace, not temporary calm, but real restoration. The kind that settles into your body and reminds you that you no longer have to brace for impact. The harvest arriving now is not dramatic chaos. It is quiet joy, steady assurance, and the return of parts of yourself you forgot you lost. For you, this looks like emotional lightness where heaviness once lived, hope resurfacing in places that had gone dormant, and a renewed sense of identity that is no longer defined by responsibility alone. You are allowed to dream again. You are allowed to want more than survival. For your daughter, the harvest shows up as confidence without arrogance, stability without suppression, and joy without guilt. The generational burden that once pressed down on both of you is lifting, not gradually, but decisively. What you carried so she would not have to is being released from your shoulders now. This is not repayment, it is reward. Alignment always brings compensation for endurance. You may notice laughter returning more easily, conversations flowing without tension, and a shared sense of ease that did not exist before. This is evidence. Legacy is not only about what is passed down, it is also about what is lifted off. The emotional debts of the past are being cleared. The weight of expectation is dissolving. And in its place, celebration is emerging. Not loud celebration, but deep satisfaction. The kind that does not need to prove itself. You are witnessing the fruit of faithfulness. You are seeing the evidence of obedience. And you are stepping into a phase where life no longer feels like constant effort, but like aligned movement. This harvest belongs to both of you because you walked it together, even when the path was unclear. Restoration is not coming, it is here. And it is staying, chosen one. This moment was never uncertain. It was always written. Long before the questions, long before the waiting, long before the nights where you wondered if anything was truly changing, this outcome was already accounted for. Tomorrow is not introducing something new. It is revealing what has been in motion all along. The alignment happening now cannot be reversed because it was not created by human effort. It was authored by divine timing. What is shifting in your daughter is irreversible. What is releasing in you is permanent. This is the line where the past ends and the future begins with clarity instead of confusion. Agreement matters here. Faith is not passive, it is participation. As you align your expectation with what heaven has already decided, momentum accelerates naturally. Do not fear the change. Do not question the peace. Do not second-guess the calm settling into your spirit. That calm is confirmation. Everything that needed to happen has happened. Everything that needed to break has broken. And everything that needed to align has aligned. From this point forward, movement replaces delay, understanding replaces worry, and purpose replaces pressure. Tomorrow marks the beginning of a new chapter, not just in her life, but in yours as well. This is not the reward of perfection. It is the result of perseverance. Stand in agreement. Speak life. Expect evidence. Because everything changes tomorrow, and it begins with her.